In 1955, two Russian-language articles appeared in the same issue of the Soviet journal Vопроsi Philosophy, Problems of Philosophy, where materialists and others had railed against cybernetics in 1953. This signaled a watershed change in the official attitude toward cybernetics. A closer look at these two articles sheds light on this reversal. Sergei Sobolev, Alexei Lyapunov, and Anatoly Kitov co-authored the article titled The Main Features of Cybernetics and began the process of rehabilitating cybernetics from positions of relative authority in the Moscow Military Academy complex. Although Kitov was the youngest and least influential of the three mathematician co-authors, he also appears to have been the first Soviet cyberneticist. A Soviet colonel engineer, Anatoly Kitov, discovered in 1952 the single copy of Wiener's Cybernetics in a secret library of the Special Construction Bureau, SKB 245, at the Ministry of Machine and Instrument Building. Kitov had been sent there to research possible military applications for computers after graduating in 1950 from the military academy where Lyapunov taught with a gold medal, the highest award in the Soviet education system. After reading Wiener's Cybernetics, Kitov began to consider that cybernetics was, in his words, not a bourgeois pseudoscience as official publications considered it at the time, but the opposite, a serious, important science. After digesting cybernetics, Kitov turned to share his newfound enthusiasm for the science with his former instructor, Alexei Lyapunov. Lyapunov, who later was known as the father of Soviet cybernetics, was a wide-ranging and luminous mathematician who taught at the Military Artillery Engineering Academy and in the Department of Computational Mathematics at Moscow University. Recognized by biologists, geophysicists, and philosophers alike, Lyapunov took, according to Soviet historian of science M.G. Haas-Rappaport, an integrating, non-dividing approach in natural science, which became the rich soil for the sprout of cybernetic ideas. Having heard his case, Lyapunov in turn encouraged Kitov to write an article explaining the essence of cybernetics, promising to co-author it with him. Holed up in the secret military research library, Kitov wrote a draft for the article, after which Lyapunov recommended inviting as co-author Sergei Sobolev, then chair of the Department of Computational Mathematics at Moscow University. Sobolev also played a legitimizing role as deputy director of the Institute of Atomic Energy, in effect the mathematician with a hand on the atomic bomb. In 1933, at the age of 25, Sobolev became the youngest corresponding member of the Soviet Academy of Sciences, and in 1939, the youngest full member, academician, of the Academy. After joining the Bolshevik Party in 1940, Sobolev was appointed as the deputy director of the Institute of Atomic Energy in 1943 and contributed to the construction of the first Soviet atomic and hydrogen bombs. With this in mind, Lyapunov and Kitov arranged to visit Sobolev at his dacha in Zvenigorod, an hour west of Moscow, where, after discussing the draft, Sobolev offered his name as co-author. Although it is not known how much he contributed to the article, Sobolev repeatedly and publicly defended cybernetics in the late 1950s. Sometime in 1952, Kitov and Lyapunov visited the editorial staff of Problems of Philosophy. For unknown reasons, the editors agreed to publish the article, asking only that they receive permission from the Communist Party. We may speculate on why the editors agreed to publish on a forbidden topic. Vопроsi Philosophy continued to publish anti-cybernetic material for several years, so one might suppose that the editors thought permission would not be granted, thus shifting the blame for the rejection onto higher authorities. It is equally possible that the editors agreed to publish the article out of genuine enthusiasm to encourage intellectual debate during Khrushchev's thaw. Regardless, the editors sent Lyapunov and Kitov to meet with representatives in the science division of Storaya Square, an administrative wing for the Communist Party in downtown Moscow.